Thank you, gentlemen. I am joined by Santorin and Bjergsen. Santorin, I'm coming to you first. As they just mentioned, 4-0 on the year against CLG. But not only do you improve that record, you guys move into first place with that win. We'll see how Dignitas does later in the day. But moving into the back half of the split, that's got to feel pretty good to come out strong.
It feels really good because it definitely felt like we played way better than yesterday. Yesterday we were really indecisive and we didn't take the leads the way we should have. And I feel like this game we were more decisive and we went in every time we had a chance.
Well, you speak about being more decisive this game. But Bjergsen, after that first blood, we did see a relatively slow game for quite some time. The gold lead hovered around 1K. So at what point did you guys feel comfortable or feel like you had the power in your composition to kind of move forward into that win?
It was really about finding a place to fight and a reason to fight, because CLG was giving up pretty much everything, like dragons, apart from the second or third dragon. They were just playing very safe and just giving up pretty much turrets and dragons. So we were just constantly looking for where are we going to fight. And we did mess up the first fight that they actually gave us an opportunity to fight. But as soon as they gave us the second one, that's where we went in and really got stuff done.
When you talk about looking for fights, I kind of want to jump into Champion Select to look at the picks that you guys went for. Alistair has been a high priority, both pick and ban for teams across the world. You know, how important is it to secure a champion like that in terms of being able to pick the fights you want? Because we saw multiple times Lustboy going in and the fight not being there, but only losing him or him being able to tank up enough. And then we saw huge initiations like the one that the guys just went through, and how Alistair is basically the setup for that.
One of our really common blind picks is Azir, and one of the very common counter picks is Kog'Maw. And Alistair does very well against Kog'Maw, like you showed just in the fight. You can just dive onto Kog'Maw, you can flank Kog'Maw, you can tower dive Kog'Maw. There's a lot of things you can do with Alistair that's very good against that. So with all the really strong champions that people usually pick, like Kalista, Gragas, were all gone, then Alistair was definitely at the top of our pool.
Now, along with the Alistair, you had the J4 that was able to follow up quite nicely with the Cataclysms. A little curious as to why you think there's so much focus on jungler bans, especially today. We've seen Echo, Gragas, and Rek'Sai fall away very quickly, and people are being relegated to J4 and Lee Sin.
So for Gragas is definitely the highest priority pick, and that's also why every purple side team bans Gragas. And we just ban Echo, Rek'Sai because we feel like those champions that they can play well, the teams we played this week, and banning those away puts us into a spot where we can play stuff like Jarvan, and we know that Jarvan is really good against Kog'Maw with Azir and stuff like that. So we just ban the champions that we feel like will be able to shut down our comp, and then we just play our.
Now, after this game, we already said you felt like you played a lot more decisively today, and that does, boast, well for you guys when we move into the latter half of the split. Bjergsen, what would be your largest criticism of the team as of right now, and what you need to improve with these last 8 games?
Well, it's a lot like the problem we had last year in the summer split, where we are doing very well in scrims and we're ending games very fast, like 30-something minutes. But then when we get on the stage, we take 45 minutes, 50 minutes to really end the game, and we have the same kind of lead. It's just about how we're pushing it. In scrims, the other teams, when they're behind, they still look for plays and they still try to do things. But on stage, people play very conservative. They like to hug towers and just play very safe and look for that super scaling. So we need to be translating the way we're ending games, really, and I think that's the biggest problem for us.
Santorin, how would you say you go about fixing that, right? We need to be more decisive, but where does that start? Is that with the individual? Is that with the team mindset?
So we've decided to pick up more aggressive junglers because we want to be able to end games. So we're going to play more aggressive style, where I'm also going to be playing more aggressive than we used to do. And that's just to know that when we can take the lead and how far we can push the lead. So right now in scrims, we're mainly practicing stuff where we maybe lose scrims because we're trying to abuse the lead too much. But then we slowly realize how much can we abuse the lead.
Something we noticed from regions like China is that they play very aggressive and they're very willing to do things like tower diving when they're ahead. So NA is a very passive region, so we've tried to upscale it where every time we see an opportunity where we kind of think we can dive, maybe it's a 50-50, we'll go for the dive in the scrim just to see if it'll work. And then we kind of downscale from the aggression. And that's how we're going to learn to end game faster and push our lead as hard as we can.
Look forward to seeing that aggression manifest in future games. Once again, congratulations, guys, on a huge victory against another top team there in CLG, moving yourselves ahead to that first place slot. Now, there's still a ton of action left to cover, and it continues with the new lineup for TDK challenging one of the top dogs, Team Dignitas. We'll be right back.
Yeah.